Hi guys. So today's writing lesson, we're going to do something super fun. It is called a shape poem. So it's also called concrete poetry. And just to show you a quick example, this is a book by J. Patrick Lewis. It's called Doodle Dandies. And I just wanted to show you some examples. So as you can imagine, being called a shape poem, the words of your poetry form a shape that have something to do with what your poem's about, of course. So like this one is, the words are in the shape of a giraffe. This one, you can see the words are in the shape of the weeping willow tree there. This one has the shape of an umbrella. There's even the handle has words on it. And here you can see that the outline of the butterfly has the words around it. And so most generally when I write shape poetry, I usually have it rhyme, and it's usually pretty short poetry. So depending on the size of your shape, of course, would be how many lines you would have in your poem. So it's best if you can use something that's a pretty simple shape. Like in the past, I've used just very simple shapes that kind of show the concept or the idea of what the poem is about. And then you go from there and you write the poem, and then I'm going to show you a trick to make it look really cool so that you can make the words go into the shape of what you wrote about. So this is a poem that I wrote just a few minutes ago, and all I did was I simply traced my hand and then I wrote my poem. So I've got all this chicken scratch here of my poem and changing words until I got it to where I liked it. And then I took my words to my poem. I took a blank sheet of paper and put it on top of my hand. So you see how you can see through that? And then I just started writing my poem around the fingers so that when I was all finished, you can see the outline of my hand, but without the actual lines of the hand. So it makes it look kind of cool. So that's what we're gonna try today. And again, like all of my little writing videos, these are super quick. And so when you need to pause me, just pause me so that you can stop and work on the poem, for example. So the first thing you need to decide, just like anytime you're writing, is what is it gonna be about? So you can write about, on this, let me read it to you. So this one is a hand. And so I asked my daughter, I said, what does this remind you of? What should I make the poem about? And she said, helping hands. I said, yeah, that's perfect. So mine says, helping hands can make a bed or make sure all the pets are fed. Helping hands can fold the clothes and put your stuff wherever it goes. Helping hands can show you care. You can spot them everywhere. And so that is my poem about helping hands. And honestly, when I first wrote it, my last line stopped here and I still had a finger and a thumb to go. So I had to add another couplet, another 2 lines that rhymed to make it fit. And so that's something that you will need to do with a little bit of creative problem solving. If your poem is too long or too short, you either add to your picture or you add to your words to make it work. So if you've been following along some of the little short writing lessons I've been doing, which I plan to keep doing each weekday of our school closure, I have been writing about my animals. We have a lot of pets at our house. So I wrote about our dog Maisie, and yesterday I wrote about my daughter Maddie's parrot Gertie. And so I thought today I would write about our cat Tucker. He's a sweet cat. He's very old. He's very calm. And he's gray. And so I was trying to think of the different things about him. And so the first thing that I have to do is, of course, take a blank sheet of paper and draw the outline of a cat. And so I'm going to do that very quickly. You can think about what you want yours to be about, and you can be drawing yours too. And I'm going to just go with this one that I drew earlier so that I can keep going. So I drew Tucker. And then what I need to do is take my blank piece of paper. I'm gonna put it right on top of that. And I also, ahead of time, wrote my poem. See, this is what rough draft looks like, first draft. So it is, changing things until you like it, until you have good words at the ending lines that are gonna rhyme with what you need it to rhyme with, all of that play. And so I have my poem here. I have my cat behind my paper. And so now I just simply need to write it around the shape of the cat. So I have I'm gonna pause it because this is gonna take me a while. Okay, I'm back. So I took my poem that I wrote. I put, Tucker is my sweet old cat. He's furry, calm, and gray. He likes to purr upon my lap at the end of every day. And then I also drew on a little face there. So I had the outline of the shape of a cat, but then I drew on his little face and I made it gave him a little cute pink nose. And so I wrote down the steps too before I came back on. So the steps are, figure out a shape that would go with what you want to write about. Write your poem on a separate scrap of paper, and then rewrite the poem with your shape underneath the paper so you can see it through the paper. And then you can add little details and touches. I even wrote the poem in gray ink pen because he's a gray cat. And then after you do that, number 4 is to share it. So whatever you're seeing this video on, or my class posted on Seesaw, I want to see your shape poems. But those of you that are sharing it from all over the place, I would love it if in the comments you snapped a picture of your shape poem to share with all of us. So I hope you enjoyed today's writing. I absolutely love doing shape poetry, concrete poetry. So have an awesome day, and I hope you'll watch my lesson tomorrow. Bye.